Hi all, my name is Teresa Quinn and I'm a social worker with the National Ovarian Cancer Coalition. And today in our coping skills section of our mental health resource library, I'm going to teach you 3 really quick techniques to cope with difficult conversations, anxiety, any sort of big feelings that come up that feel like you need an additional little tool on the go to support you as you're managing it. If you're dealing with any aspect of the ovarian cancer experience, whether you are the survivor yourself, you're a caregiver, or you're anybody supporting someone experiencing ovarian cancer, these techniques can be super quick and really helpful to manage all sorts of feelings that arise in that experience. So the 3 things that we're going to cover in this really quick video, one is box breathing. The next is snake breathing. And the last one is a super quick mini body scan check-in. We'll also have either a video or an audio file of doing a longer body scan check-in if that's what you're looking for. We'll do a super quick mini one today. All of these skills, what I love about them is that they can be used without anybody really knowing that you're doing it. So if you're in the middle of a difficult conversation or a difficult meeting with the doctor, for example, you can utilize them to stay grounded in your body and really calm any sort of anxiety down, right? So nobody really needs to know that you're doing it. They take a super short amount of time. So we're not talking about a 10, 15-minute long meditation that you need to do. And all of them are just kind of that really quick, almost like a little band-aid to help you manage distress in any given moment. So box breathing. What I love about box breathing is that it's really, really short. You don't have to remember anything except the number 4, really. I use 4. If that doesn't work for you, or if holding your breath for 4 seconds feels like a strain on your body, just pick any number, but you just want it to be the same number all around, and it'll make more sense when we do it in a second. So for box breathing, all we're going to do, and I'll kind of motion with my hand, is we're going to inhale for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and hold your breath for 4 seconds. So let's do that together. So inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. And then just continue to breathe normally. I love this technique mostly because you don't really have to remember any sort of number combination. There are certain breathing exercises that are fabulous, but you have to, inhale for 4 and exhale for 7. If you are feeling kind of panicky, especially, a single number and counting is really, really helpful because it's very difficult for your brain to both panic and count at the same time. So it's really, really helpful if you're feeling that kind of panicky anxiety come up. I also love box breathing because you can doodle, right? So you can take a pen to paper, and if you are in a meeting or you are doing something that you want to actually doodle, it kind of just looks like you're doodling on the page, right? Even though you're doing a breathing exercise. Same with, you can just trace a little box on your leg, for example. And so it's a helpful way and visual to connect with your body and to kind of drop into that groundedness. So that's box breathing. You can do as many rounds of it as you like. Snake breathing is really more about a long exhale, right? So while box breathing is around grounding because it's the same number, snake breathing drops you into the calming part of your nervous system because it's a long exhale. So anytime that your exhale is longer than your inhale, it'll kind of drop you into that calming part of your nervous system. So what we do with snake breathing is we're going to take an inhale in, and then we're going to breathe out, and you're going to kind of like hiss like a snake. The other way to think about it, some people do it as like a straw breathing. So you can take a straw or like a coffee, straw, and imagine you're breathing out through the straw. Same with like a pen cap, you could do it with. So we'll just do 2 rounds together. So inhale in, and you exhale out. And inhale. And a long exhale. And again, you can hiss out for as long as you possibly can. And doing a couple of rounds of that will eventually kind of drop you into that your parasympathetic part of your nervous system, that calming rest and digest part of your nervous system. Again, breathing through a straw or through a pen cap can also be another really helpful tool to like focus on the breath with. The last tool I want to cover is just a super quick mini body scan. So we'll do a longer body scan down the road here, but what I love about this one is if you don't have, the 5-10 minutes to do a kind of a long body scan, imagining your entire body, focusing on the parts that feel good, that feel tight, all that kind of noticing all the sensation. If you are, feeling really overwhelmed, I love a really quick body scan, which involves just placing your hands on a couple of different parts of your body. So we're going to do head, chest, belly, and then legs. So if you put your feet on the ground, if you're listening to this, right? So all we're going to do is place our hands on your head and 0 to 10, how much distress or tension are you holding in your head? Place your hands on your heart, your chest. 0 to 10, how much distress and tension are you holding there? Place your hands on your belly. 0 to 10, how much distress or tension? And place your hands on your legs, 0 to 10, how much distress or tension? That's it. That's your super quick body scan. I love that exercise because sometimes when we're feeling really overwhelmed, it can feel like my entire body is feeling the anxiety, is feeling the distress, is feeling bad. And what I love is these 4 parts of our body just allow us to understand there's probably more subtlety and nuance going on there than we're really giving credit to. Because if we notice, if our head tension is at an 8, for example, but our chest is at a 6, right? Just noticing, oh, there's a difference there. The pain or the tension and the distress is really more in my head. And then maybe it goes back up to a 9 at your belly, but then maybe your legs feel like a 3. And just noticing, okay, there's subtlety happening here. It's not all encompassing. It's not everything at once. How can I get really curious about how these different parts are playing out? So play around with those 3 techniques: box breathing, snake or straw breathing, and then that mini body scan check-in, and notice how they feel. Nothing needs to be the perfect solution or a cure-all. We're just looking to add to your toolkit for additional strategies to manage anxiety and distress.